then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ECR Duel in the Desert 150 at Phoenix Raceway. I'm Shane Cochran up in the booth for Sim Racing Media. With me, as usual, is Mike Demoni. Mike, how you doing this Saturday night?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to seeing what these guys can do here at Phoenix after last week at Texas.
Yeah, last week, I believe it was Tyler Burden brought home the victory. And speaking of, this week, last week, we're at the end almost of the 2025 Elite Cup racing season. Just 2 races remain tonight at Phoenix. Next week, the ECR Championship happens at Auto Club. And as we take a look at our point standings, it is Tristan Bailey out front with a pretty comfortable lead here, 28 points over second place Adam Boughton. And that is going to mean that as long as Bailey starts these last two races, I think he's going to point his way into the championship. But here at ECR, payouts go to the top 5 drivers. So the racing isn't over. There's still a ton of these playoff drivers eligible to get into the payout window. And so we're going to see some hard racing here tonight. I believe Dwayne Furtick was not expected to be here, but it does look like he's in the starting lineup right now, Mike.
Yeah, I was talking earlier. It looked like he was not going to make it, but he showed up. Probably didn't have too much practice as he's sitting down in 13th is on the qualifying grid. But, I mean, he showed up. He got some points. So that's going to just maintain that point spread that we have here within the, 2nd through 6th place, 7th place now.
Yeah, so it's Adam Boughton in 2nd, Dwayne Furtick 3rd, Colin Bollinger 4th, John Osborne 5th, Ryan McCall in 6th, Tyler Burden in 7th, Kane Lee in 8th, Doug Denice in 9th, Anthony Ludi in 10th, Michael Carter 11th, Jonathan Cogswell in 12th. Not all of these drivers in tonight's race, but we will be highlighting them in the tower for all of the drivers still racing here in the chase for those payouts. So we take a look at tonight's race breakdown. This is race number 29 on the season and the 5th of 6 races in the chase. It's going to be 150 laps. That's 150 miles here at Phoenix, about 1 mile. It's like 1.01 miles, so it's pretty close. If you take the dog leg, it's definitely under a mile, right?
Yeah, definitely under a mile, especially if everybody's going to be trying to cut that corner there.
Then, as usual, 70% fuel, no fast repairs. It is just 3 sets of tires tonight. That's a little bit tight, so drivers are going to have to ration the rubber and make sure they keep up with that. Fuel window somewhere between 59 and 62 laps. So you're set up to, if this runs green flag, you're going to need to make 2 stops under green, and that'll leave you 1 on the pit wall for a late race restart if you need it. It's not too hot here, 80 degrees in the air, 82 on track, and just a little bit of a breeze. But I mean, tonight's race is going to be all about the dog leg. That's going to be kind of the drinking game of the night every time we mention the dog leg, because that's what makes this track so unique. As we're looking down from the SRM blimp, you can see how easy it is to cut that apron there just after the start finish line. So drivers going to have to be careful about that for a number of reasons. One, getting down there gets the car very loose and upset when you come across that transition between the racetrack and the traditional racetrack and the apron. And 2, on restarts especially, drivers are not allowed to go down there usually prior to the start finish line, even though that is kind of the fastest way to get a quick start. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, make sure everybody's minding their P's and Q's on the restarts there.
Definitely want to watch the restarts. You also want to watch coming back up on to the track, because nobody has to let you back on.
Otherwise, it's going to be, the track is not that wide if you were to measure it, but there's probably 4 or 5 different lines you can take through turns 1 and 2. You'll see drivers all the way down on the apron there and all the way up by the wall trying to get a run off of 2. Then 3 and 4, a little more traditional. You kind of just want to arc it in as best as you can. Reminds me of 3 and 4 at Richmond. And as the pace car is moving, it's actually going to be Gary Nash in the 88 on the pole. Tristan Bailey on the outside of the front row. Then Adam Boughton and Tyler Burden in row 2. Row 3 going to be Kane Lee and Colin Bollinger. Then Michael Carter and Aaron Miller on row 4. Robert Roth and Anthony Ludi in row 5. Doug Denice and Ryan McCall in row 6. And just like that, pace car is off. Pace car comes off a little early here on the starting lap, just because this track used to be flip-flop the other direction. So it was Kent Mueller and John Osborne in row 7, then Pete Walsh in 15th. Dwayne Furtick is on the leaderboard, but he did not actually start the race. And Gary Nash in the 88 is going to lead him around through that O'Reilly's Auto Parts restart zone. And we're racing here at Phoenix. And drivers already down to the dog leg. right away. As soon
nobody
as they cross that start-finish line, they get down there to get track position.
Yeah, nobody waits at all trying to get that run off. Gary Nash, not a driver we've seen on the front very much this season, but he put down a heck of a lap, got that track position, and he is putting it to work. Floats all the way up. Oh, hard into that outside wall. Going to lose a couple positions now.
Talk about the commentator curse. Wall contact here at Phoenix, definitely not what you want. You can maybe kiss the wall here and there, but that looked like some hard contact. Might have gotten his steering a little off kilter here early on the start. That's going to leave the 94 of Adam Boughton out front after starting third. He's got Kane Lee in P2 trying to track him down. Then behind them, Michael Carter's in third, but he's under attack by Tyler Burden in the 06, who's got Tristan Bailey coming hard on his outside. And
Teammates are battling pretty hard there. Tristan Bailey, talking to him last week, said he wasn't going to have too much time to practice as he had prior engagements, but it doesn't look like it matters at the moment. He qualified fairly well and is on his way back towards the front again.
Yeah, so far, our biggest mover in the race is Michael Carter. He's up 3 positions, make that 4 positions already to P3. And right now, the top 6 are all chase drivers. Aaron Miller in 7th, the first of the non-chase drivers. It was Nash on the pole until he had that contact and drifted back, now in 9th. Some side-by-side racing here between the 10 and the 53.
Yeah, Colin Bollinger last week started on the pole. First lap, got a little contact with Tristan Bailey. Tristan Bailey apologized profusely in his interview, but didn't really help anything for Colin Bollinger as he took a DNF, and that cost him quite a bit of points. He's still here trying to battle to get some of that money at the end of the season as we ride on board here with Aaron Miller now.
And you can see just how rough that transition is when you come down off the bank surface to the apron on the dogleg. And they're making it look easy, Mike, because I've done this before, especially in this next-gen car. If you come down on the apron with too much wheel in it, or you do it at the wrong time, the car gets loose and sideways very easily.
Yeah, it definitely does. It depends on when you make that transition. That's why you'll see a lot of drivers hit that start finish line and like almost immediately turn left, because it's not quite banked quite as much going downhill there. It just looked like Aaron Miller might have touched the wall there a little bit.
Up at the front, Kane Lee has gotten almost to the inside of the 94. Right on his rear bumper now, trying to find his way around Boughton, who has now led 8 laps.
It looked like Boughton thought that Kane Lee was going to take that dogleg. Kane Lee did not, and luckily enough, Boughton had just enough room to get by and slide down in front of him.
Yeah, that's kind of the next layer of danger of taking the dogleg, is if you think the driver to your inside or just off your bumper front or back is going to do it and they don't, there's a possibility that you get together and both go spinning right in front of the field. So that was an early close call for Kane Lee. Everybody mostly single filed out here, but not a lot of breathing room. Closest battle on the track right now is between Anthony Ludi and Nash. And then just ahead of them now, Bollinger and Miller continue to battle. I feel like that 10 car's been trying to get around the 53 since the race started.
It definitely looks like it. He's been riding right there, right on right off of his rear fender there. Just can't quite get enough to get by. Bollinger slides back in front as they head down. Ooh. That looked like Tristan Bailey hit that wall hard.
Yeah, either Bailey or Burden. I mean, it seems like one of those cars has been hitting the wall every single lap. Everyone pushing hard, even early on, just 13 laps into the race. Trying to figure out every inch of this track you can use to gain an advantage. Looking at our fastest 5 for 5 right now. Adam Boughton in first is the fastest car on track over the last 5 laps, but Anthony Ludi in 10th is second fastest. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that 95 car. He's riding in 10th right now. Probably hoping to come to the front. And then that lap is it updated. Now that's the Kane Lee is the second fastest over the last 5 laps. So
yeah, updates fairly quickly here.
it's hard to be consistent as well. You can have a good lap, and then the next one you get a little dirty air and head into the wall.
Yeah, we heard about that almost every time these drivers have been on track, that you basically drive with the dirty air to block the driver behind you. Ooh. Kane Lee. Like he was getting a little close there.
Yeah, and he's dropped out of that second position now all the way back to 4th and might lose 5th to Burden.
Yeah, it looked like Tristan Bailey caught him at almost the wrong time. Was able to slide up just in front of him as they were headed into, we'll call it turn 1, as they were coming there. But Bollinger looks like he had a little bit of a blinking issue.
Yeah, and you can see the drivers give him a lot of extra room. You never want that car to blink out and come back online in your dashboard. So
no, when you were with me a couple of weeks ago, we had that happen with John Osborne, just completely disappear, and then all of a sudden he was right inside another driver and everybody spun out.
And that's going to allow Miller to get P6 as now Bollinger just kind of dropping back to keep it safe. Ludi up to 9th. And Michael Carter in second, but he's got Tristan Bailey right behind him. Again, Carter, our biggest mover of the race so far, up 5 positions. Doug DeNice up 4. Both of them running in the top 10. Miller now trying to get around Lee. I'm trying to do it on the outside, and that risks tapping the wall, but he's going to get the wall and the position there. Miller now up 3 spots from where he started the race.
Miller's been working hard. He was on the rear bumper there of Bollinger until Bollinger had that issue, but now he is kind of in the clear a little bit. Probably the first time he's had a little bit of clean air. We'll see if he can catch Tyler Burden here as Kane Lee works his way backwards through the field.
It looks like Bailey has gotten around Carter. Carter's still right on him, though. As now the 9 sets sail and heads towards the front, trying to track down the 94. Who's still out front, has now led 20 of the first 21 laps.
Yeah, Bailey really just has to kind of hang on to Boughton's coattails just a little bit, and he is going to have a really easy week next week with this championship. Adam Boughton just trying to do all he can to maintain that P2 spot, get that payout that they have for the top 5 drivers here.
So we ride on board with the 9. You can see they're downshifting into 4th. I believe at both ends of the track to help with rotation, and that just means you've got to be even more careful with the throttle on exit. And then a real low entry in 3 and 4, almost clipping that pit wall down on the inside, then all the way to the bottom of the dogleg. Right now, Bailey's using about the second lane, I'd say, off the yellow line on entry, while Boughton's using the third. And we can see him gaining ground every lap.
He is closing in. He is. Last lap they were almost a little over a tenth faster there.
Yeah, Bailey is the fastest driver on track right now. As you said, just about a tenth faster than the leader.
Now watch how close Bailey comes here to that pit wall that's hanging out there. He gets right down on it.
Seems especially close from the in-car, too.
I don't know how many times I've called races, and it looks like they're almost going to hit that wall. And they just barely avoid it.
And it looks like the 9 car is starting to back up his exit in 2 so he can get a better run down the backstretch. And right here's where they got to be careful. Getting side by side down on the dog leg. Oh, 94 into the wall. It's going to slow him up just enough for Bailey to get a run on the inside. But he can't quite clear him. 94 tags the wall.
Carrying so much speed in there, doing all he can to try and maintain that lead, and it just slid out from under him, caught that outside wall, and now he is going to have to battle back to get to Tristan Bailey.
And while all that's happening, Michael Carter has joined the chat. And Tyler Burton not too far behind either. These front 4 on a bit of a breakaway. All within 1 second of Bailey, and then a second and a half back to 5th place, Aaron Miller. Now the majority of the top 10 are chase drivers. I mean, the majority of the drivers in the race are chase drivers at this point.
Well, yeah, 16 drivers, probably.
It looks
Keep
like
seeing Dwayne Furtick. Looks like he leaves the pits and then jumps back in the pits. I don't know what's going on with that 51 machine. If he's thinking about coming out on track as Gary Nash catches the wall.
Yeah, both Furtick and Mueller are on pit road right now. Mueller is just 1 lap down. But still, well, now he's coming out of the pits. So Mueller hit pit road early. I'm not exactly sure why. And Furtick, as you mentioned, did not make the start of the race, but has come out and turned maybe 2 laps and pitted each of those laps. Maybe having a hardware issue. Here comes Burden up to P3, all the way to the inside of the dog leg. That's going to let him clear the 18 of Michael Carter and take 3rd position.
Carter looks like he's going to try and battle back to the inside, takes that lower line, and Burden's going to let him have it as he goes up to the high side, going to try and cut this dog leg, get a little space between himself and Carter.
Burden all the way up to the wall on that turn 2 entry, or turn 1 entry, and then kind of diamonds the corner off to get some momentum. He's trying to track down the 94 now. We're just past halfway of a fuel run, and this is where the tires are really starting to give out if you weren't taking care of them. Phoenix will chew up those good years if you try to use them too aggressively early in the run.
Now you say that, but looking at the way these drivers have been running up front, they are not holding back at all. Maybe we'll see some drivers from mid-pack start to make their way towards the front. It looked like they might have been saving the tires a little bit here. Look at Colin Bollinger and Doug Denice and Anthony Ludi maybe start to make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, at the moment, it's still the leader and Tyler Burden who are the 2 fastest cars on track. I don't think anybody's at risk of going a lap down. It's still about a half lap between Bailey back to the 74 of Pete Walsh, who is the last car on the lead lap. Kent Mueller is a lap down after pitting, but even he's about a half lap ahead of the leader. So he's sitting in that lucky dog position as we ride here. There's Mueller. And now everybody pretty well spaced out. These 3 drivers right here in the closest battle out there at the moment. Gary Nash has drifted back to 11th after we saw him get into the wall on just the first lap. Don't see too much visible damage on that car, though.
No, it looks like he hit it pretty flush there, you know, on that right side, but still has been able to maintain decent speed. I mean, not bad for a driver who usually kind of just hangs out towards the back of the field, throws his name in the hat, gets up there on the pole position.
Fountain still holding on to P2 as Burden begins to close in.
Paul Bollinger coming down pit lane.
And I guess if you're going to make this a 3-stop race, then lap 40 is about the time to do it. I would have thought it'd be worth stretching it out and trying to do it on 2 stops. '06 to the inside of the 94.
Ooh. Love that camera angle right when you switch to it right at that wall.
And we've seen Burden do that all race long. He comes as close as you can get to the pit wall. I think he's trying to give it a high five sometimes. He is going to get second place, though, from the 94 here in the Duel in the Desert, 150. No rapid fire pizza yellow flags yet tonight.
Yeah, Rapid Fire is going to have to find a different flag to sponsor these last couple of weeks. Only one last week, and so far, so good tonight.
Definitely want to mention all our other sponsors. 213 Simware have been with us all season here with ECR. Jimmy Granger Ford sponsoring the chase. And Denice Designs, another one of our season-long sponsors.
I definitely grabbed a few extra sponsors as the season went on.
Here comes the 8 of Mueller again. He's a lap down on, I assume he got tires when he came in to do whatever he was doing. So he's starting to come up through the field right now, working on Robert Roth in the 59. And Gary Nash just in front of them.
I would have thought that he got tires, but looking at, I don't know what happened with.
Now, I'm seeing a 10-second stop, so it's definitely not 4 tires.
Yeah, no. That's what I was just looking. I'm like, there's no way. But maybe maybe he cut that corner a little bit, and that's what the timing's reading. But Gary Nash running fairly well up to P8.
So Bollinger pitted the first of kind of the lead lap cars that were running without issue so far. He did have a little bit of a network problem earlier in the race, but he was still in the top 10 when he came down pit road. Now back in 13th, he's 1 lap down and needs to catch Mueller to get the lucky dog. He's about a straightaway ahead of the 53. So big gamble. Again, it just looks like the 53 going to a 3-stop strategy, but he's going to spend some time a lap down and hopefully not get caught there if a caution were to come out. But maybe by the end of this thing, those fresher tires and one more stop will pay off. Phoenix is the kind of track where it could.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks where tires could play an issue. Aaron Miller came down, hit pit lane on lap 41, just ran the fastest lap of the race with the 26.18. So fresh tires are definitely putting in a little bit of work, but the fall off from that lap to the leader is almost a second and a half.
Yeah, big gains for those fresh tires. Kane Lee, the next driver to hit pit road. So far, Mueller with that 10-second stop, we're assuming that was 2 tires back on lap 30. Bollinger got 4 tires on lap 40. Aaron Miller and Doug DeNice also with 4 tires back on lap 41. And now Kane Lee going to add 4 tires to his strategy. And this is starting to trigger a pitting strategy effect here. Again, if you're going for a 2-stop race, lap 50 is where you want to do it. So here on lap 51, now 52, 94 on pit road. Michael Carter in the 18 on pit road. Gary Nash and Anthony Ludi also coming down pit lane. That leaves Tristan Bailey out there. Again, I think on fuel they could go up to another 10 laps. But I don't know why you'd want to.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to come in this next time. Maybe a couple laps, but only if you're, thinking at the end of the race you want a couple lap fresher tires.
Yeah, I mean, every lap they stay out there, they're losing almost a second and a half to the fresh tires. Pete Walsh now coming down pit road. That leaves just Bailey, Burden, McCall, Roth, and Osborne, the top 5 that have not pitted. Bailey with a 1.8-second lead over Burden. And then they have an 8-second gap all the way back to the 90 of Ryan McCall. And it looks like Carter's had an issue, Mike. You can see that 18 car slow with damage on the left front fender. See if we can figure out what happened to Carter. I'm going to jump back a lap or two and see where does that damage come from. So this is back on lap 52, and he just gets loose on his own and gets into the wall on the inside of the backstretch. This is back on lap 53, I believe. And that is seriously going to derail a great run that the 18 car was having tonight. As it looks like he's coming down pit road to get that taken care of. As that happens, Burden also comes down pit road. Bailey still out front, still on the track now, 56 laps on this set of tires. And he's coming this time.
Oh, so he has to come now.
But you're right, he kind of gave himself an extra 7 laps of tire life to have when this all cycles out at the end of the race. By doing that here, and if he does it again, it'll be, you know, even more for that final run. The car I'm most interested in, though, is Bollinger, because he was the first one to come down pit road on what seems to be a 3-stop strategy. He should cycle to the lead if he can come out ahead of Bailey. And it looks like he will.
Yeah, he should. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't because of how long the pit road is here at Phoenix.
So that's a pretty big difference here between Bollinger, it's going to be about 17 laps different on tire strategy. So he's going to have the lead, but he's going to be on the oldest tires in the field. So I'm not sure he's going to be defending very hard. As Miller and Boughton are right there, you can see them in frame. That's going to be the battle for the lead when this all finishes out. As now Robert Roth hits pit road. Osborne is the only car not to pit just yet. 59 laps for that driver. Ooh, Boughton tags the wall, battling with Miller.
Yeah, Boughton has 11-lap fresher tires than Bollinger, so he should be able to reel him in relatively soon. Tristan Bailey, Tyler Burden, about 6.5 seconds off.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting battle, too, as Burden came out ahead of Bailey, coming down pit road. Oh, just 2 laps earlier. But that, again, you can see they're losing about 1.5 seconds for every lap you stay out there. But if Bailey catches Burden, how aggressive is he going to be to get the position now versus kind of ride with the 06 up through the field? As they both waited till kind of late in that run of pit cycles to come down. They're going to be on a very similar strategy, with Bailey having just 2 laps on the upper hand in terms of tire freshness. Osborne coming down pit road now, the last car to pit, and again, it is going to be Bollinger out front with the 94 in his mirror. And now that that pit cycle has wrapped up, we're going to take our first commercial break of the night. We'll go side by side. You won't miss any of the action here in the Duel in the Desert 150, the ECR NextGen series here on SRM. Welcome back, race fans. As you were watching side by side on the commercial break, Tristan Bailey and Tyler Burden caught the 53 of Colin Bollinger and moved themselves up to second and third as they start to chase down the 94 of Adam Boughton. Bollinger, again, we assume he's on a 3-stop strategy. He came down around lap 40. That means he's going to be back on pit road in another 7 laps or so. And it really did buy him a lot of track position on this run, as I think he was back in 10th or so when he went to this pit strategy, made his way up to the lead, and now in 4th. And I think he's probably going to stay in 4th until that pit lap. So 10th to 4th is a pretty good gain. We'll see if that strategy plays out at the end of the race, as we have just 77 laps remaining here in the Duel in the Desert 150. Pit strategy kind of all over the place. Mueller came in on lap 30, but we think that was, not by design, maybe by necessity of a hardware issue or something else. We've really only had one accident, and that was Michael Carter, a solo spin out of turn 2, got into the inside wall. He's currently out of the race. The only other driver out is Dwayne Furtick, who missed the start and then couldn't quite get it going. See from one of our pit road reporters that was an internet issue for the 51. So 14 cars on the track, all of them on the lead lap right now, with Boughton, Bailey, Burden, Bollinger, and Miller your top 5. Bailey,
it's going to be interesting to...
Oh, go ahead.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, as Bailey has caught Boughton. Bailey is on 6-lap pressure tires, so if he can maintain this, and if he runs the same amount of laps he did last time, he's going to have the freshest tires for the end of this race.
To the inside of Boughton. They're side by side at the start finish line, but the 9 going to go all the way to the bottom, down near pit road on that front stretch dogleg and clear the 94. So right now, the strategy of the 9, he stayed out. I mean, pretty much as long as he could before he came down pit road. We thought that was going to come back to bite him, but it cycled him back to the front and on the freshest tires. Which means if he wanted to, if he did the same run he did last time, which I think was 56, 57 laps, he's still got another 35 laps that he could just run this out at the front with the best tires. I think the 9 is sitting pretty.
Yeah, he definitely has the right strategy in hand. Somebody's going to have to try and do something different to take the win away, as Tristan Bailey just seems to have it dialed in lately for these chase races.
Now, Bollinger's still in 4th. He's the only car kind of on a different strategy, a 3-stop instead of a 2-stop, and if he's going to stick with that, he should be coming down pit road either this lap or the next. We take a look at his journey. Yeah, I mean, he started around 6th, then had a little bit of network issue, dropped all the way back to around 10th, gained those positions back, and then hit pit road, got his 4 fresh tires, dropped all the way back to 15th, and then as that all cycled through, he went to the lead for 2 laps before Boughton got around him. Then stayed in 2nd for a number of laps before Bailey and Burden caught up with him. And now he's sitting in 4th. So to me, that's he essentially cycled from 7th to 4th on this strategy. I say do it again.
Yeah, I mean, see what happens. It's going to be tight there with the spending that extra time on pit lane. But if he can make it up on track, I mean, you got to try something different with everybody else doing the 2-stop strategy. maybe 3 is going to at least get you a few more positions.
And because he's, pitting more often, he does have the option to go with a 2-tire stop. He doesn't need to be there for a full tank of fuel like everyone else does.
Yeah, that is true.
But I don't think we've seen a 2-tire stop other than that first one for Mueller that was probably for some other issue. I think maybe Boughton took 2 tires. His pit stop time was 12.1 seconds. Everyone else's pit stops are up around 15 seconds. So that might have been a 2-tire stop with making sure it was topped off on fuel. And that might be why Bailey got around him so easily and is now pulling away a second lead over the 94. So 85
Yeah, definitely
laps in the books.
definitely some sort of strategy there for Boughton. Maybe he's thinking maybe a late race caution. He'll have an extra set sitting there.
So with that, let's do a run through our teams out front right now. It's Tristan Bailey, the only driver for Aeon's Motor Club in the race tonight, representing well. And then Revolution Motorsports with the head count here tonight, 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th. 5 drivers in the top 10. Nothing wrong with that. Boughton leading the way in 2nd. Michael Carter was up there battling for the lead as well until he got into the wall and is now out. Then Bollinger, currently a free agent as far as I know. Might not be a bad pickup for a team here in the offseason. Then Southern Alliance Racing not having the night of performance we're used to seeing out of them. Kane Lee just outside the top 10. Gary Nash in 13th. And Furtick with those network issues is back in 16th. Hasn't really gotten going. Robert Roth for Gone Wrong Racing in 12th. And then Pete Walsh, the Lone Wolf, running for Lone Wolf Racing, back in 14th. Again, all 14 cars are still on the lead lap. As we are looking at Walsh here, you can see Bailey in the background. 74 could probably use a caution here to reset things, give him a chance to get some more track position, gain some positions here in the second half of the race. Right now, Kent Mueller and Doug DeNice, along with Ryan McCall, all up 6 positions. DeNice and McCall both running in the top 10.
Yeah, both of them running fairly well. McCall stayed out the longest on lap 58. It's the last time he came to pit lane, so we'll see if maybe having some fresh tires at the end of the run, he'll be able to get a couple positions as he goes to the inside of DeNice there and takes P5.
Bollinger still riding in 4th, but he's 10 laps past that 3-stop strategy kind of pit stop. Oh, there, just as I say it, here he comes. Kind of splitting the difference between the 2 strategies. Stayed out for 50 laps that run. And I think he can make it to the end here if that's what he wants to try and do. Well, it's going to be really close. What, 58 laps, 59 laps? We haven't seen anyone
58,
quite make it that far. But if you just needed to save 1 or 2 laps, I think you could definitely do it.
Yeah, Robert Roth came down on lap 59 for his pit stop, but he was running kind of towards the back, so maybe he was saving fuel just kind of riding around there. But if you're up there racing for the lead, I think your pit window is going to be a little bit short here.
Yeah, this will be interesting for the 53 because he's going to kind of have the option to do either. He could either split this final run in half and try to get the freshest tires, or just run it all the way to the finish. So in about 30 laps, he's going to have a decision to make based on where he's running. That's dropped him all the way back to 14th. 1 lap down. Aaron Miller and Kent Mueller have also hit pit road to add to that lap down club. Bailey still out front. His lead now over 2.5 seconds over Tyler Burton. And he's about to lap Walsh in the 74. Pretty good battle going on here. This is Osborne on Ludi. And Doug DeNice right behind him. And you can see the 81 all the way onto that pit road exit. You can use it. There's no rule that says you can't. But during a pit cycle like this, you're going to have to double check with your spotter that no one is coming off pit road when you're trying to do it.
Yeah, definitely have to pay attention, see what's going on, because you cut down like that and somebody's coming out, that could end both your days in a hurry. Ludi drives clear down deep. Osborne stays on the track this time.
And this group of drivers has been going up to the wall in 2 and 3. As we see Bollinger go by on fresh tires. I mean, whether it works out for him or not on the strategy, it's sure got to be a lot of fun to be the only car on fresh tires here for about 20 laps.
Yeah, definitely. As it looks like Kent Mueller had an incident. Like he crashed in the wall and jumped to pit lane. See what happened with the 8.
Let's see. Might be a little too much slow motion going on.
Usually for the crashes, that's exactly what you need.
He's coming around underneath of
Oh,
Boughton.
loose. Loose, loose, loose.
Just drifting all the way down that exit. Right at the start-finish line, and then loses it down onto the dogleg apron. Doesn't look like he hit anything, though.
No, it doesn't look like he hit anything. Jumped to pit lane, so should be good. And as we were watching that, Adam Boughton headed down pit lane for his pit stop.
So this time, again, it looks like most drivers going with 4 tires, but it does look like Aaron Miller and Kane Lee both took 2 tires this time. To try and gain just a little bit. So look at our pit stats. Yeah, there it is. So Boughton taking 4, Miller and Lee with 2. You can see how long those other drivers have been out there. Doug DeNice, lap 58 laps on this run. He's got to be coming sometime soon. Looks like Gary Nash is on pit road now. And Ryan McCall in 3rd is out there on... Oh, no, it's actually Osborne is the driver on the freshest tires of everybody. Up in the top 10 right now. But Bailey just pulling away, continuing to do so. Almost 4 seconds now over Burden. And 13 seconds back to the 90 of McCall. And there comes DeNice on pit road.
I would say he just went 59, almost 60 laps there on that run. So
we know Bollinger can do it as long as he's just a little careful with his fuel usage here on this run. Anthony Ludi now coming down pit road. And Pete Walsh is currently sitting in the lucky dog position in 6th. So there's 5 drivers that haven't pitted and are on the lead lap. But Pete Walsh and Anthony Ludi, Ludi's just hitting pit road now. So Pete Walsh is a lap down, but he still hasn't pitted yet. Maybe holding on for hope to grab a lucky dog here before he hits pit road.
looks like Bailey's almost caught DeNice here.
Yeah, I think Denice is already pitted, so I'm expecting him to pull away on those new tires. But is at risk of going 2 laps down, sitting in front of the leader.
Yeah, he definitely should pull away, and Bailey should be coming to pit lane within the next 5 laps, I would think.
Been a dominant run for the first 106 laps here for the 9 car. Has led 58. He really only gave up the lead through the pit cycle once he got there. And right now, he's just driving nice and smooth, still using that dog leg, but keeping the wheel straight on both transitions. In the middle of the track in turn 1 with a low exit out of turn 2. I mean, that's the way to do it if you've got clean air and you don't need to get around anybody. And that's a great tutorial on how to get around Phoenix here in the NextGen car.
Yeah, definitely. If you would think that having watched all of these drivers here, that I would learn something about driving. No, I cannot drive. No way.
No, I mean, usually in a race where you've got a bigger field, 20 or 30 cars, Phoenix is kind of a wreck fest because it's so difficult to drive and so difficult to traverse that dogleg 2 and 3 wide. But these ECR drivers have just done a phenomenal job of racing safe and respectful. Even though we've seen a lot of different tire strategies where cars are catching each other at different speeds and a lot of side-by-side battles for the lead even. Just a lot of respect out here on the track tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have that.
So if I'm Tyler Burden, I mean, I think I want to try to undercut Bailey. That might be the only way I can gain on him here. Burden now 54 laps on his set of tires. Aaron Miller was that highest running driver to take 2 tires. He's up to 8th. And it looks like Boughton is actually ahead of Bollinger. And this is kind of that point I was going to say. The 53 is going to have the chance to come down pit road quickly if he wants to try and turn this back into a 3-stop race. But I think at this point he kind of took the advantage out of the 3-stop strategy by running long on that middle stint. And
yeah, that middle stint just kind of did him in, I do believe. Because now I mean, if you do come down, you're spending at least 40 seconds on the pit lane. So, yeah, it's going to be rough.
I really wish he had stuck with it because I had a feeling that might actually play out at the end of the race. Again, he gained 3 positions the first time he did it. And he got up to 4th. If he gained 3 more, that's a race win. Burden on pit road. That's 57 laps for Tyler.
Yeah, he had to try something. I'm assuming we'll see Bailey pretty quickly here as well. Yep.
Yeah, there's no advantage to try and run any longer here. You can only kind of risk losing the lead to Burden if you give him a few laps of advantage on the undercut. So as Bailey comes down, that's going to leave Ryan McCall in the 90 as the leader. He's on lap 55 of his run. So just 4 cars that have not pitted. McCall, well, make that just 2 cars now that have not pitted. McCall and Osborne. Here comes the 90.
Osborne coming in as well, so should cycle the 94 to the lead.
Yeah, so Boughton going to be in first. Bollinger going to be in second. Then Bailey and Burden. Bailey's about 2 seconds behind Bollinger with 35 laps remaining. Boughton's got a 5-second lead over the 9.
Yeah, the 9 spent only 11 seconds in his box.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 2-tire stop. So both Tristan and Tyler, Bailey and Burden, respectively, went 2 tires. Boughton and Bollinger went 4. That might help them hold on to this lead a little longer than the last time around, where Boughton went 2 tires. And Bailey was able to get around him pretty quickly. So maybe the 94 learned something from that experiment in the first stint.
Ooh, Tyler Burden just put down the fastest lap of the race with a 26.09.
He is fast, but he's a full 5 seconds behind Bailey now. As Bailey and Bollinger are battling here for second. And a 53 on 26 lap old tires. It's just hard to put up a fight at that big of a disadvantage. But he's still, still in a podium position here.
I'll say that first stint got him the track position that he needed, and he's going to come out probably at least a couple positions to the good here. So I mean, as long as he can hang on these last 30 laps, it'll be a net positive for him anyway.
And Bailey is gaining on Boughton at a pretty fast rate here. In just 5 laps out of the pits, he's cut that 5-second lead down to 2 seconds. Now 1.7. I mean, he's coming with a head of steam. Now down to a second. Tristan Bailey flying around this track as we jump on board.
Yeah, Adam Boughton last lap was a 27.33 to Tristan Bailey's 26.25.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Boughton got 4 tires. I don't know why his speed has dropped off so sharply. I mean, he's got a 16 lap differential between Bailey's tires, but Bailey got 2 tires. And here they go, side by side. And these are the leaders in the points for the chase as well. Bailey and Boughton 1 and 2, just as they run on track now. And if you're thinking the same thing I was like, hey, is it getting brighter out there? You're right. This was not a night race. It was a morning race. It's now 7 a.m. in the morning here in Phoenix. The sun is coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was supposed to be early. Ooh, caution.
There it is, the first rapid fire pizza yellow of the night, or of the morning, that is. Robert Roth has crashed. Pete Walsh involved, as well as Kent Mueller, maybe. Go back and take a look at this one. This is the 59 of Robert Roth. And there he just gets loose. Getting back on the throttle. There in the backstretch, gets into the outside wall, and he's right in the racing line. And that's exactly what iRacing is looking for when they think about throwing a caution. And that's why that one came out.
Nope.
Oh, and there's the contact with Walsh there right at the end. We'll go back and show that as well.
And everybody's coming to pit lane.
While they're doing that, let's go back and look at that again. So Roth coming off turn 2, tries to save it and just fishtails into the outside wall. Then Pete Walsh is coming up, and Roth just lets off the brakes a little too early. Woo. Trying to get that thing turned around, almost backs into a couple more cars.
Yeah, it looked like he had it kind of stopped there, and then all of a sudden he just went back up into the racing line. If he would have stayed down on that bottom a little bit and got going the right direction, probably would have been okay.
And then I'm also seeing that Burden, Boughton, and Bailey might have had some sort of issue. I'm wondering if they were just slowing down for that or slowing down for the pace car. There it is. Yeah, they got past the pace car and had to slow down. So no contact or damage there.
Pace car needs to find the gas pedal there.
So now it's time to restack them, and guess what? One driver stayed out. That's Aaron Miller in the 10. He's going to be the leader.
That is a bad idea.
Miller been up and down through the race. Got 2 tires way back on lap 92. Yeah, I'm not sure this is a winning strategy, but it is a different one.
Yeah, when everybody else came down pit lane, I think you're going to be a sit-in duck.
And this means that first dive into turn 1, which might have already been 3 wide with the dog leg there, it might be even more, as everyone's going to be trying to race around the 10 to get an advantage at the end here. So Boughton and Bailey went 2 tires when they hit pit road. Everybody else on 4. So Bollinger is the first driver on 4 tires. Couple different strategies here are going to play out, as we're going to have a restart with 23 laps to go here in the Duel in the Desert 150 at Phoenix. Aaron Miller leads them back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone, and we're green flag racing. Tristan Bailey with a great start, trying to push the 10, and there they go, fanning out. 4 wide into turn 1.
Who didn't see that one coming? Miller's into that outside wall.
Bailey out front. Burden's gotten to second. Here comes Bollinger, and they're 3 wide behind him as Miller continues to drift back on those old tires. Again, the 53 has 4 fresh tires. He's the first driver on the 4-tire strategy. Or sorry, Burden is now. So the 53 going to want to get around Boughton as fast as he can. Trying to keep up with the 06 as he's going after Bailey for first. And there goes a driver into the wall. Contact for Osborne. And Denice. We stay green. As we check on that 40 car. Let's go back a lap and ride along, see what happens here for Doug. He's way down low on the apron, and the car just gets loose on exit. And then he smacks the wall and collects Osborne with some damage. Back up front, Burden and Bollinger are battling for second. Again, they're both on 4 tires. Ooh, into the wall and loose. Oh, the 53 hits the 94 as he's trying to save a spin. And I'm not sure if there was contact that started that, but both Burden and Bollinger collecting the wall and then a little bit of the 94 car. So Bollinger is dropped back to 4th, and he might lose that here to McCall. Seemed like the 53 was marching up to try and put a fight to Bailey. Not going to happen unless there's another caution here, likely. But now Tyler Burden is starting to gain on the 9 car.
Yeah, Burden and Bollinger side by side. Look like they both might have got a little bit loose. Maybe some slight contact there.
Oh, we have another yellow flag as Osborne has crashed. This is just a half lap ago. Oh, wow. That has the look of a complete hardware failure.
What in the world?
Let's take a check on that one more time. And just as he's getting into the corner here, he's got the 40 down low, kind of nowhere near him. And that's either the worst netcode I've ever seen.
Oh, no, just turns right.
Or a hardware issue for the 81. I mean, we saw him pick up a little bit of damage that lap before. But I did not expect, you know, I'm not sure what kind of damage you could have that would cause that to happen. Jump on board with Osborne here. See what that steering wheel does. Yeah, that's got to be a wheel problem.
Yeah, that was.
So, back up front. 16 laps remain. Got a number of drivers on pit road. Pete Walsh has picked up a meatball flag from his contact. He's back in 12th position now. 10 laps down. John Osborne 1 lap down but out of the race. And that leaves us with just 10 drivers still on the lead lap and still kind of actively in the race. Roth, Mueller, and Walsh all on pit road, many laps down. Denice is still on pit road right now. If he's quick, he might be able to get back out and stay on the lap. Tristan Bailey out front, Tyler Burden in second, Adam Boughton in third, but we saw that 94 catch some damage as the 53 had gotten sideways trying to stay out of the 06 and then tried to save it and got into Boughton as he was going by. So,
yeah, definitely looked like the 06 and 53 kind of had some incidental contact a little bit maybe. And then Boughton just was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All right, now the top 7 in the race, all Chase drivers. We talked about this pre-race. Bailey, for the most part, I mean, he's having a good run here tonight. If he finishes anywhere in the top 3, I think he's going to lock up the championship. But there's still a huge amount of racing to be done for those next 4 positions in the final Chase finish that all receive a payout. So everybody going to be racing hard here. There's only going to be one more chance this season to have a, to race hard in the last 15 laps. That's going to be next week at Auto Club. So every position here matters for all of these drivers in the chase. And if you're Gary Nash, you'd love to play spoiler as well. Bailey with a great start. Burden tries to clear the 94. He's going to do it. They all go down through the dogleg as low as they can go.
And Ryan McCall all over the rear bumper there of Adam Boughton as they headed through that dogleg. Tristan Bailey, though, with a huge jump out to already a quarter of a second lead. Bollinger trying to hold that outside line as well.
He does it. That gave him a huge run to get around the 94, but now he's really high out of turn 4. Going to lose some ground to the 06, but he's in third. Now just 13 laps to go. Does the 06 have anything for Bailey? He's got fresher tires, as does the 53. Is that going to be enough? And by fresher tires, I mean both of those, the 53 and the 06, took 4 tires to Bailey's 2 on that previous caution. Bailey's had the raw speed all night, then ran long and played it conservative on pit strategy. And the longer it stayed green, the more that 9 car went to the front and grew his lead. But right now, it's just 4/10 back to Burden.
And Bollinger is closing in as well. Ooh, taps the wall just a little bit. They're going to lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, they both gained on Bailey, and I think they got just a little too excited about it. As Bollinger tags the wall, now he's looking low on the 06 here out of turn 2. And they're gaining on Bailey, Mike.
10 to go when they come to the line, and Burden is right on the bumper of Tristan Bailey.
Here's where you can see it. Bollinger going down low. You can see him in the mirrors here as we jump on board with Tyler Burden. And Burden, he's not trying to do anything too aggressive. You know, he still has a few laps to get it done. He knows he's got the better tires. Sunrise is blinding going through the dogleg, though. It almost feels like these drivers are battling to see who can get the highest on turn 1 entry to get the best run out of turn 2.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that is the case as you see them both drive down. Looks like Bailey missed his mark there just a little bit. Burden's going to be able to get a little bit of ground here.
Bollinger hanging tough as well. He's looking for that clean air, trying to get a little bit of a lower entry into turn 1, which is kind of his only option with both of those other drivers running up high, but it just doesn't seem to have the same speed down the backstretch.
Now, we heard it the last couple of weeks, the dirty air in this car just is killer, and you just can't get a run. Track position was king, and Colin Bollinger made the right call, pitting early, hoping for that late race caution, and he got it. And now he is up here battling for a podium spot, trying to get a couple spots more.
Yeah, this whole race was about pit strategy, and now it's all about how are you going to get around the 9 car. With 6 laps to go, and we've seen that 53 bounce off the wall and a few other cars here in the second half of the race, just trying to find any extra speed out of this Phoenix Raceway track. And Burden now starting to back off of Bailey. I wonder if the 06 and the 53 burned up their tires there on that last restart. Still within reach is Tristan Bailey. That time Burden about a half lane off the bottom, trying to find some more speed. It looks like they're all hitting the wall there, right?
All
at the
hitting the wall
finish.
now, yeah. Looks like Adam Bowden's having a battle there with Aaron Miller for 4th position as well.
Miller and McCall have caught the 94. He's throwing a block.
Well, Miller didn't pit the caution before last, but he did come down and had to pit this time as everybody drove by him. So he is on the freshest tires. We'll see if he can make the pass here. Ooh. As Bowden is just throwing blocks left and right here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we missed a little bit of contact or something here before we started watching this battle, because these two drivers are really going at it, elbows out. Three laps to go. Miller trying to pull ahead. Up front, Bailey continues to pull away from Burden. Bollinger now drifting back as well. So the best battle is this one for 4th, as Miller is to the inside but can't stay in the gas. Bowden gonna get a run. And Ryan McCall is just saying, hey, which one of you wants a push? I want to get around both of you.
Oh, bumps.
Final lap. White flag is in the air. Bollinger maybe with one more dive bomb opportunity on the 06 for 2nd. There it is. Not going to get there. Tristan Bailey's going to win this one. Burden into the wall, and Bollinger comes up third. Then it was Aaron Miller. Oh, and they're wrecking coming to the finish. Let's back that up an extra lap as we were watching the leaders. This is what was going on in the battle for fourth. Oh. Not sure what happened there. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Aaron Miller in the 10, Adam Boughton in the 94. Banging doors into turn 1. Then out of 2. Miller clears him, and then has McCall looking to his inside. They all throw it in deep. McCall goes down low, makes him 3 wide. And that's what happened. So McCall actually finished 4th, while Miller and Bowden got squeezed into the wall. Anyway, it's Tyler Burden up front. Doing his burnouts. And he just took it to him today, Mike. 93 laps led. Boughton led 47. Nobody else led more than 4 all day long. And it took kind of everything. Green flag pit strategy to play the long game, and then short run speed on 2 tires to close it out in the final laps. Great run by Bailey. Meanwhile, it's Tyler Burden and Colin Bollinger rounding out your podium.
Definitely a race that kind of had a little bit of everything. You know, you were thinking pit strategy for a while, and then those late race cautions kind of threw that out the window, and whoever had the best tires at the end were going to win.
And with that, let's go back and pull up the 3rd place driver of Colin Bollinger. Bollinger, number 53, bringing it home P3 there for you, Mike.
Hey, Colin, man, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Well, that was a heck of a race. I have to ask, though, because pit strategy looked like you were trying something a little different here. Was that kind of always the plan going into it?
No. I mean, I was just telling the guy who won down in the waiting room that we had a little bit of like internet issues. First, I don't know what lap it was, maybe 15 or 16. I was running 5th there, and so instead of blinking in front of everybody, I just let everybody go and waited for it to like dial itself down, which it did. It only took a lap 2, which in hindsight, I guess I could have sat there and ran my spot, but I didn't want to wreck anybody out. So I ended up losing 3 or 4 seconds on that, and after that, I knew I couldn't really run how I wanted to, so I had to start taking those short pits. And I mean, it was going to work out. I think we were going to still end up finishing 4th, but the win was never really going to come unless we had those cautions like we did tonight. So
Yeah, definitely looked like we were kind of rooting for the pit strategy to come to fruition, to at least see something a little bit different. Late race cautions kind of set you up for a chance at the victory. A little contact there on the previous restart, but you still had a chance here coming towards the end of the race. How'd you feel overall about the race here at Phoenix?
I mean, it was good. It's with these cars now, it's really hard to pass, and I'm just more confused about the last like 10 or 15 laps there. I mean, I felt like I was running in pretty good on the bottom, but the 2nd place car would rather follow in the guy's dirty air every lap and ensure none of us can win and let the 9 win instead of trying to make a different line work. So, I mean, if that's what he wanted to do and he's happy with 2nd, good on him, you know. But, I mean, we pulled out a P3 instead of a P4, so, I mean, I guess it's not a bad night, but when we're looking for wins, not so much points anymore because we're out of it. It's kind of not a waste of time, but we didn't get what we were looking for tonight. So,
well, congrats on the 3rd place finish. Anybody want to thank before we get you out of here?
No, just you guys for putting on a broadcast and doing a great job every week. But other than that, no.
All right, thanks, man.
Problem.
Next up, going to be driver of the 06, coming home in P2, Tyler Burden. Tyler, you got a copy?
I literally just put a whole bunch of chips in my mouth.
some podium snacks. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we saw
But
you
you're
kind
lucky
of.
I'm not in the bathroom right now.
We saw you battling pretty much in the top 5 the whole day. Never quite got into the lead, and then took 4 tires there on that next to last caution, hoping to set yourself up to get to the 9. But his 2 tires, he was able to hold the lead while you guys were battling there with Bollinger and Boughton. So tell us a little bit about your night, and what more did you need to get the lead there at the end?
To figure out what my brake issue is, because apparently the way Tristan runs his brakes are a little bit different than I run mine. But no, overall, I'd say this was a good night. I hated to see those cautions there at the end because it just collected everyone back up. Whereas the strategy that me and Tristan were using, we were still going to be ending up 1-2. So, it really could have wished we could have gone all the way to the end green that on that last run, but I guess it made it interesting, and hopefully the fans got a show for it, because we were nose to tail for the last 15-14 laps. So I mean, can't complain about good hard racing. Again, I think everybody's going to complain about the way that this car is, and hopefully, and I don't think it's going to help, but when we get these cars back up to 750, it might be a little bit different story, because these tires, like, they dropped off, but it just seems like as you're the following car, no matter what you do, you just use up more tire than the lead car. So, but yeah, as for getting around him, I mean, I think we were pretty much running the track the exact same the last few laps. It was just I don't know if I got a little bit of damage from when I got pushed into the wall. I still don't understand how I got a 4X for that, because I didn't see him spin or do anything, but whatever. It's a weird call. iRacing still has some weird calls, but nah, overall, good night, though.
Yeah, we saw some technical difficulties for a number of drivers, and whether it was some weird netcode or weird incidents and things. And Osborne went hard into the wall with what looked like a wheel issue there to cause one of those cautions. But either way, you still brought it home second with a shot at the win. There's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations on P2. Who else you want to thank for tonight's run?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the young guys, Tristan, John, Ryan. I really want to give a shout out to Ryan. He got a good finish of what did he get? 4th?
He got 4th. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
he
at
got
the
4th.
line, 3 wide too.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been we've been working on some stuff, so he got a good finish tonight, and that was awesome for him. All the guys back at the shop, and Humanities 101 for hopping on board this year as we're getting ready to call this a close. Hopefully I'm sure they will, but hopefully they're willing to come back for next season. And I think we've got a few other new sponsors coming for next season, because they've really liked the show that we've been putting on. And, my mom and my dad for showing me everything I know about racing and helping me go to school at University of Northwestern Ohio. Just overall a great effort by the guys. Christopher Travis for painting this car. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, congratulations again on P2. What do you got for him next week at the season finale at Auto Club?
Not too sure, because we're all kind of scratching our heads on what this car is like. And I like Fontana, but I really like it in the Gen 4 cars. In the Gen 4 cars, the Fontana's a blast. Fontana and Michigan are a blast. But I'm looking forward to it. Me and Tristan should be putting on a show again next week. I think Adam's probably going to be pretty good there too.
Yeah, talking about Gen 4 cars at Michigan and California, that takes me back to the old NR 2003 days for me. Those are the tracks we used to run all the time back in the old days on Windows 95 or whatever we were running back then. But yeah, congratulations again on P2. We'll let you get out of here, and good luck next week at Fontana.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Last up, driver the number 9 car coming home with P1 and most likely clinching the championship here is Tristan Bailey for you, Mike.
Hey, Tristan, man, how is it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Going pretty good.
Well, definitely looked like you had the plan out there running a little bit longer than we kind of were thinking you were going to, but I mean, got the right track position. We're able to catch the drivers fairly quick on those fresh tires. Was that always kind of the plan?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who don't like to short pit. I like running it out and then having the big tire advantage on the longer run on the next set, just because of the way also the fuel strategy was. Because you can go about 58 laps on fuel. So I didn't run it all the way out. I think I pitted a little bit early in the first one, and then I was just debating on what I wanted to do on the next stop. And honestly, with the way the tires were, you were honestly faster with taking rights at there. So that's what I took on that green flag pit stop. And then when that caution came out, I said, well, you know what? Let's throw some more rights on her. I'll see what she does. And that's what I did. And it actually seemed like it made the car faster for some reason on right sides only. So that was kind of a good game plan. Me, Tyler, John, and Ryan came up with. And we was hoping it would have went to the green to the end there, because I'm pretty sure Ryan, I know he finished 4th, but pretty sure Ryan would have been either P3 or John would have been P3, P4, either way. So it would have been cool to get the whole team involved there in the top 5, but luckily Ryan was able to sneak a top 4 out of it right there.
Ryan definitely was battling there for a P4 is 3 wide coming to the line, but he was able to get that. You pretty much, if my math is correct, you probably just have to show up next week and you're going to win the championship here. Looking back on the season, how does that make you feel, knowing that you just you can pretty much just show up and have fun next week?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I try to be consistent throughout the year, and there's a couple of tracks that I don't even think I lasted half the race on, which I guess looking back, you know, it is what it is at this point. So I was kind of just having fun, honestly, just the rest of this playoffs. That's when I started. I was like, you know what, gotta be practicing, gotta get ready for all this, and practice for the first race at Kansas. I was like, damn, Adam's fast. And then I was like, you know what, let's just go in there, clear your head each week, go in there, just run your own race, keep it clean, and just try to do my best. And that's what I went in each week with. You know, going back a couple races at Talladega, getting wrecked out wasn't in my mind. It was just, you just need to be up here and try to lead laps, try to lead the most laps, get some points here, and try to help a teammate here and there, try to get them moved up. So, I don't know, overall, really excited how the season went. Excited for what next season will bring, and excited for that schedule to come out for next season.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on the win. Anybody want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
I want to thank all of Eons and Adam for putting on the league, and then y'all for broadcasting, man. It's just been a great year. And like I said, I'll be itching to get back going again. But, man, just thank everybody. Thank my mom watching, if she's watching right now. Usually she does. And just been a fun year.
Definitely, Matt. Well, congrats once again, and we'll see what you can do next week at Auto Club.
Thank you, man.
Wraps up our interviews here for the race. Any other closing thoughts, Mike, before we run through our final results?
No, man, that was a pretty good race. I mean, you had almost everything. I do kind of wish it would have went green to the end, kind of see what those pit strategies would have played out, but still was a pretty exciting finish here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, love seeing the green flag strategies play out in the middle. Again, I kind of wish Bollinger had stuck with his maybe a 3-stop strategy. Sounds like that wasn't what he was doing on purpose, but by necessity of some issues earlier in the race. But anyway, he got a chance to run back at him there on the late restart and get a podium. And then, yeah, just a great race and a great kind of stamp on the season for Tristan Bailey as he pretty much clinches the championship and gets the victory. So it's going to be Bailey, Burden, Bollinger, your top three. Then Ryan McCall, we saw him 3 wide at the line to get around Aaron Miller and Adam Boughton. Then Anthony Ludi in 7th, Kane Lee in 8th, Gary Nash 9th, Doug DeNice 10th, Robert Roth, John Osborne, Pete Walsh, Kent Mueller, and Michael Carter are your top 15. Dwayne Furtick did get credit for starting the race, but he wasn't able to get too many laps on track. He's going to come home in 16th. And that's going to wrap up the Duel in the Desert 150 with one race remaining at Auto Club next week. And I actually am not going to be able to make that race, so I want to say thank you to all the ECR guys for the great season. And I know Mike and whoever we get to kind of sub in there is going to give you a great coverage next Saturday night at California. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Anything else, Mike, before we close this one out?
No, man, just thanks on jumping on board, and hope you get to watch an entertaining race next week.
Yes, sir. So thanks again for watching, everybody out there on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe for all the SRM broadcasting content, and we'll see you next time.